Hey everybody, we're back. It's Thursday night, streaming again. As we get started, there's a few things to say. First off, we've moved on from Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. Wasn't originally the intention, but we've moved on. It was all set up tonight to do Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. Part of the reason why we've started late now, why we've had two starts. Because as I set it up to start, I found out the fucking controller pack has lost the save file. And I'm not doing the start of the game again. We're not going through half the game again to get to where we were. Let me fix this. It should be good now, and put that up to like 12. Yeah, it should be fine. So we've moved on. The results of the poll as they stood were Castlevania Chronicles was in the lead. So we're playing Castlevania Chronicles, released for the PlayStation in a year that nobody knows. In the meantime, the next poll is currently live. If anybody wants to vote on the fourth game of the stream, of the marathon, I recommend voting on it as fast as possible because we might be done with this by the end of the day, before the end of the session. How is everybody tonight? Seeing plenty of League of Gentlemen quotes in the chat. I'm going to assume everybody's doing okay. How you doing, Bane? Yeah. Despite like the way we ended last time, doubtful, or not necessarily doubtful, but like unsure of whether or not I actually even want to continue. I was totally intending to continue Legacy of Darkness. We made a decent amount of progress, and you know, it's the style of old games, when you're playing old games, to die many times and to just keep going until you make it. I'm alright, I'm not too bad. And so I was fully intending to just push through Legacy of Darkness. We'll get to the end. Should be fun. I could unlock the Henry mode for a future project, maybe, who knows. But no. Controller pack lost the save, so now we're on Castlevania Chronicles now. Listen, Harvey, I'll use the F word all I want. Frog. Yeah, as a result, we on Castlevania Chronicles is what was currently in the lead on the poll, and we now have the next stage of the poll, which, let me check, is between Lords of Shadow, Aria of Sorrow, Bloodlines, again, we've brought that back, and Super Castlevania 4. So if anybody wants to get their choice in, Why? A frog, of course. I like the 4x3 setup we have. I always like bringing it out now. It's like we got the widescreen setup, but I like the 4x3 because there's none of the empty space. And I like having the box art up on the top there. It's nice, I like it. I also have a bit of extra news. Following Tuesday's stream, we finally made affiliate. 50 followers. I think we're on 51 at the minute, actually. An average of three viewers per stream for the last month. What else was it? Minimum of 7 days streamed over the last month. Generally, the average is that I do like 24 streams a month. Which sounds like a lot more than it should, actually. I need to look into that. It doesn't sound right. If I'm streaming 3 times a week, 24 is more than it should be. I'll have to look in there, never mind. And I think there's a minimum number of hours we have to do. Let me check the summaries while we're basically not doing anything yet. Go. Uh, 50 followers. Need to stream for 8 hours. In a month, need to stream on 7 different days. We've streamed for 22, and we finally hit an average of 3. Affiliate means that if I choose to, I can start making money out of this. Hello, is that Barbara? I'd like a cab, please. Yeah, affiliate essentially, more than anything else, means I can start getting money out of it. Can do channel points if I set affiliate up. That's what channel points really are. They're a little bonus for affiliate, for the chat to essentially get some stuff out of it. The chat points give you the option to do stuff like highlight your message, use an emote without subscribing for that stream, send a message in a sub-only stream without subscribing. It's still something I'm currently deciding whether or not I'm actually going to decide that I want to make money out of this. I'm currently unsure. But in the meantime, yeah, we've dawdled around long enough. Let's get started. What you've been seeing so far has been original mode, but we're actually going to be playing arrange mode. And let me get the console up here. Castlevania Chronicles is a port of a remake of the original game. The remake of the original game released in '93 on the Sharp X68000, which was a Japanese home computer. Really? I'm pretty sure I changed that. That's weird, it's definitely been changed. Yeah, you're right. Nope, there it is. I think what you have to do is just refresh the page if that's bothering you. Yeah, the remake of the original Castlevania, released on the Sharp X68000. This is a port, but it also contains an entirely new mode, arrange mode, which is what we're playing. It has rearranged music, it has redone sprites and everything. For example, the Simon Belmont sprite is completely redone to match the Ayami Kojima artwork. There we go. The Ayami Kojima artwork you can see on the box art in the top right. As far as I'm aware, the only time Simon Belmont has been depicted with red hair in the standard canon. Although when they brought Simon Belmont back in the Lord of Shadow canon, he also has red hair there. There we go. So this is a traditional Castlevania. I'm kind of surprised this is the first traditional Castlevania we'll be doing for the Castlevania Marathon. This is actually the second remake of the original game, the first remake being Super Castlevania 4. It's probably worth noting that all the remixes of the music tracks have a weird disco techno vibe to them. For example, this is Vampire Killer. It's really weird. But it's a solid game, it looks nice, it plays well. Probably wouldn't have wanted to pay full price for this back in the day. I think this came in like 2000 as well. Imagine going out and buying this. Like £40 in 2000. That painting might be a bit much there, Dracula. I think certainly by 2000, no, I have to actually get on the stairs. Good to know for later. I think by 2000, Sony had really calmed down with the idea of every PlayStation game has to be 3D. I mean, this happened, this is a port of a remake. The Final Fantasy games were ported. 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 were ported. Chrono Trigger was ported. Not in Europe, but you know. Ported somewhere. Oh god, I forgot about that. Run, Simon, run! In the original game, that secret wall, the breakable wall, has meat in it. Which is why I broke it. I was like, oh yeah, I could do with some health. I forgot that in this version, it's actually a never-ending stream of flea men. If you're in a classic Castlevania and you've never played this, it's certainly it's a solid title. Nah, cool. Simon's well, the Belmont family are just fairly kinky, whipping everything they don't like. Getting Francisco von Karma flashbacks now. Well, there's a problem. You have to break your own wall. Or Dracula's wall. Yeah, with this being a classic Castlevania game, though, it's not going to be huge. probably doable in the space of the stream. So it would be worth voting now for the next game you're after in the marathon. Because there is a good possibility we'll finish this before the end of the stream. Unless I really screw up. Two, three. Yeah, if you've never played this, it's a solid Classicvania to go back to. And the level layouts are, beyond the first level, fairly unique compared to basically every other version of the original game. Get the double shot. Get ready. Like, it tricks you and somewhat with this. Because you've got the first level is pretty much exactly the same as standard. There we go. The first boss is standard. But then, following the first level, it gets fairly different and unique. Bada bing. Well, I'm sure I can guess what you voted for, Bane. If you don't jump and shoot your whip when you catch the orb, then I don't believe you've ever really played a classic Castlevania game. You're lying to me. So, current votes are tied between Aria of Sorrow and Super Castlevania 4. Well, the Super Castlevania 4 would be interesting from this, because it's a different remake of the original game. That's fair enough. Aria of Sorrow is a solid game. Well worth playing. And we get Aria of Sorrow done, that means Dawn of Sorrow can enter the voting contest. So in original Castlevania, the second level actually goes up. And leads you up a tower and across some pits, past the spikes, and you end the level by fighting Medusa. This remake, once you get past the first level, shows that no, it's not the same game again, with better graphics, by taking you in a completely different direction, with different boss. We're fighting the forces of evil, occult. I'm gonna go stop Dracula because he's bad. Yeah. Aria of Sorrow, we will be playing on the Wii U, yeah. They had all three of the... God damn it. All three of the Game Boy Advance Castlevanias on Wii U. And if you remember back to the Metroid Zero Mission playthrough, again, the Game Boy Advance Virtual Console on Wii U is fantastic. Some of the best emulation you can get of the system. And of course I own all of them on there as well. Damn it. It's very good there, Bane. Oh, invincibility. Yeah, it's a shame there's not really a good way to play a lot of the Metroidvanias on modern systems. The only one you can play on a modern system is Symphony of the Night, You can either get the Xbox 360 version on Xbox One via backwards compatibility, which is fine, or you can get the PSP version that's bundled with Rondo of Blood on the PS4, which is also fine, but I'd say weaker. And that's it, that's the only option you have of Castlevanias on modern systems. And it really is a shame that Konami isn't doing some kind of collection of the Metroidvanias. There's always cynicism in my voice. I have been told before, like, people... Oh, shit. I've been told before that people can't tell whether or not I'm sarcastic at the best of times. I don't think I'm getting up there. I'm not making that. There we go. We're going through the underground caves beneath Dracula's castle. Oh god, remember this from that time we streamed this for 20 minutes? Oh. If there's one thing I really appreciate about range mode here, it's that it eliminates knockback. Bollocks. Feel like it got me the first time as well. Okay. Supposed to... Oh god, my whip is way shorter again. Suppose the truly unfortunate thing about doing a game like this is there's not really a room for a drink. CD-based gaming. Remember when Soul Reaver came out and it was a big revelation for gaming that it had no loading screens once you start the game? Of course, the trade-off for that was long, empty corridors to disguise the loading. Boy, I wish I hadn't died before this fight. The axe would have been great for that. Yeah, this is a pretty fun, lesser-known Classicvania game. Not available on European PSN, we're playing the American version off the US PSN. I think the furthest we played last time was that stage. Ah, goddamn tree monsters. Yeah, we're playing the game. You having trouble with that, Bane? Yeah, it was the first to play it, yeah. Like, it's looking fine on my end. This is another remix, and I can't remember the name of the damn song. Like, Castlevania 1 has a bunch of great songs that are unfortunately forgotten, or in favour of stuff like, Vampire Killer. The one everybody remembers from the original game is Vampire Killer, but there's also stuff like Wicked Child, Aquarius, Heart of Fire. Fantastic tracks. But they appear way less than Vampire Killer does. Or even like Bloody Tears or Beginning. Didn't need a fountain to attack me today. At least the enemy variety is different from usual. Statues like that really feel like a Bloodlines kind of thing. Right, respawning enemies. What is this, Mega Man? Uh-oh. Here we're finding some wall meat. Oh god, frogs. Oh. 2 lives. To be fair, Mega Man did that for years. It's actually something I take advantage of whenever I'm playing Mega Man X. Because to get the Hadouken at the end of Armored Armadillo's stage... God damn it. He dropped a whip power up. To get the Hadouken at the end of Armored Armadillo's stage, you need to have full sub-tanks. All 4 of your sub-tanks full. So I abuse it to make sure I end up with all 4 sub-tanks at full. By keep respawning enemies until they drop enough health drops. Well, that's different. Oh no. Oh no. Who thought this would be a good idea? Castlevania game with ice physics? I don't know why that one broke. Movement in this series is hard enough without them just suddenly throwing ice physics down on me. Damn it. There we go. Ow! That's a classic Castlevania, alright. That's a weird thing. You know, that's an interesting question, Bane. If it does, the question would be like, what would you... Would you count X? Or would you count square as B? Like, 2 up, 2 down, left, right, B, A, start. Oh, that's actually a point. Did you hear the creator of the Konami code died recently? And, like, this week? Weird physics there. Fucking what? That's not just me, that was bullshit, right? Yeah, dude passed away at like 83 this week. I have no idea what makes those break. Thank you, Bane. Was bollocks. Like, yeah, whatever, ice physics. I'll take that. I'll deal with it. Don't fucking bullshit me on why I died. This game is hard enough without making shit up. And now I'm almost at game over as well. Yeah, he does. Dude'll be remembered. The Konami code went beyond Konami, didn't it? So what is this? The case of, oh, he's gotten to stage 3 too quickly, we have to slow him down. Like, Konami code was so recognized, it was used in a bunch of stuff that weren't even... Dude, you can enter as many quotes as you want per stream. And the Konami code was so recognized that it was used in a bunch of stuff that weren't even Konami. I'm pretty sure the code itself has its own page on TV tropes. For all the instances it's been used, not just in gaming, but like in media. Ooh, cross. You know, I could believe that. Ken Levine strikes me as the kind of guy who would do that kind of thing. Comfortable. Yeah, Ken Levine strikes me as the kind of guy who would do that kind of thing. But I couldn't honestly tell you. I played BioShock Infinite, finished it, and I've not really got any interest in going back to it. Story's alright. It's not a story I need to go through again to find all the foreshadowing. I mean, we'll probably do BioShock 1 and 2 for the stream at some point, but they have the added advantage of I never played BioShock 1 all the way through, and I've not touched 2. There is the interesting thought now, though. It seems to be a very common opinion that BioShock Infinite was overrated. which is interesting. Oh. I played it. I think I've got it on PS3 digitally. I think it was PlayStation Plus. I think it was PlayStation Plus at one point. I enjoyed it well enough. The story kept me going. It is a story that thinks it's cleverer than it is. But it's perfectly enjoyable the first time around. There's enough intrigue to keep you going. It's fine. Like, the gameplay works well enough. I was already kind of out of first-person shooters by the point I played it anyway. Okay. This is gonna be bullshit, isn't it? Yeah, never mind then. Okay, so I can see the blocks that the flea men are in. I have to destroy at least 2 of them. There we go. A new skeleton? Oh, nope, nope. Yeah, alright, we'll be back. We'll still be here when you get back. What this is? Guess I can't break it from this side. You know what? I'm going down for that. Down there for that skeleton. There we go. I want to get that knife. Yeah, usually when skeletons need to walk in the other direction, they turn around. My guess is it has to do with the speed they're moving these skeletons at. They thought it'd just make more sense for them to walk backwards, rather than waste a few seconds of them turning. Okay, this is a boss arena. A wizard. Oh, that's nasty. I don't know what that does. I don't like that. Ugh. Please don't be back at the start of the ice bullshit. God fucking damn it. You know, not a lot of other Castlevania games have this problem of checkpointing like that. The way it works is the checkpoint is at the start of the current area. And usually the areas are not overly huge. And so for this to be a fairly long area, fairly long singular area. Nope, that still happens anyway, I'm fucking dead. I'm tired of this. For this to be a long singular area, filled with bullshit and then a boss at the end is... like really... Look at those thighs. That's a time-based thing, there's nothing else it can be. Which is stupid for several reasons. One, it's wasting my time, and two, there's a time limit at the top. Seriously, what the hell? Ooh, got both in there. Okay. There we go. Filter that crap. I don't use the stop clock that often, but, you know, sometimes there is a good reason for it. Right, there are just some that you can't break, which is presumably so you can still make it through the top. Yeah, definitely got the cross. That's a nasty design. The cross is right next to the knife. And the ice physics, they want you to knock both candles out. Yeah, grab the cross and slide into the knife. And again, the knife could be pretty useful here. Okay. That's not enough. Did they knock hearts out of me? There we go. Out for the knives. I don't like that boss fight. It feels like it's pretty luck-based. What he does where he appears, that feels very luck-based. I'm not fond of that. Boss 3 in the original Castlevania was the twin mummies. That looks like it'll be Medusa. Which suggests this is the original level 2. And this is Bloody Tears. So they added at least 2 stages to the game. Interesting. Spear cards. Loose ahead. Not being able to jump on the stairs is going to make these a major pain. Ooh. Great that it appeared when there were no enemies on screen. So Medusa heads have always been a very simple pattern. It's an oscillating wave. The trick really with Medusa heads is the way they move versus the way you move. And then combine that with, usually when they attack, there's something else you've got to deal with as well. Whether it's the restricted movement because you're on stairs, or that corridor of Axe Knights. in the original Castlevania that leads to death. That is like the worst part of the original game. That one corridor. Axe Knights, which take like 6 whips to kill. While Medusa heads are flying at you. Yeah, the axe would be perfect for that. Or the holy water. This game has been very stingy with health drops. Damn it. Should have paid more attention to that. That took a while to actually come up. Okay, so whip upgrade, and then holy water. Okay, second whip upgrade. Ah, crap ghosts. There's a peeping head over there. Stuff like that's a cool idea. The problem with it in a 2D game with 2D graphics is figuring out when the hitbox isn't active anymore. They do something like this in Rondo of Blood. This just keeps going up. Come on. Jump down here. No, jump down. Ah, you bastard. Probably should have made this track longer. Stained glass monsters again. Don't need Medusa heads right now. What a weird enemy. Didn't look like there was any proper way I could have dealt with that. Yeah, there's Medusa. Crap. We have to make our way past that thing again. Yeah, you got that right, babe. A lot of people consider them to be like the worst Castlevania enemy. I think the Fleamen and the Crows are worse because they're a lot faster. And they move in... They don't have a pattern. Like, they have arcs that they'll move in. And they could go in any direction with those arcs. Reduced heads are a constant oscillating line. The problem is just there's a load of them, usually. As I think the crows and flea men are worse. And bats. Especially when you can't see the bats. You can't see them coming. You know the good news with the current vote? I have no idea if I can even damage this. Is that even doing anything? And then it'll shoot glass at me. It just feels like a way to get me to lose health. Like, the good thing after we're done with this game, though, the 4 votes and the 4 games in the current vote are all games that I enjoy. We're gonna die here. The run to these bosses is probably a little too long. Well, that's it. God, do I even want to continue with this? This isn't really fun. I've had another vote. Anything, I'll leave it to you guys. Do we want to move on to another game? And call it for this game? Move on to the next game in the marathon? Or do we just continue while I bash my head against a wall? Leave it to you guys. What do you think, Colt? I feel like we keep going with this, we're just going to keep bashing our heads. I don't think this is great. And I feel like the difference between this and Legacy of Darkness, which I would have been happy to continue. This fucking whip-like thing. I would have been happy to continue Legacy of Darkness, because for all of its faults, you know, it had something going for it. Why am I almost dead fighting the first enemy of this stage? God damn it. And the main thing is, like, I don't really want to be disingenuous with certain games. Like, yeah, no, we started it, we're not going to finish it. What do you think, Colt? Get a second opinion on this. Probably says something here that most of the people in my recommended streams are playing Resident Evil. Okay with anything. So Super Castlevania 4 is currently winning the vote, but I do want to give this vote a little more time. It's only just started. I don't think so. It was always the issue with stuff like this. The PS1, you could have a load of cheats in the game or none. Let me check. There's an extra mode in the main menu. Oh, that's what the Konami code does. Huh. Let's check out what this does then. Can we get back to... There we go. What? You enter the Konami code and you get this. Okay, let's put the actual time and date in then. 27th. 21:15. I have no idea what that's actually done. I have no idea what that did. What is extra option? Okay, so here's a weird thing. If you enter your name as Nomis, Nomis, ... you start with less health. Isn't that cool? That's the only cheat for the game. Alright. What we're gonna do then is we're gonna switch to another game. Let me see, I'll set up a new vote. Bear with me a minute while this is going on. Alright, everything's set up. What I'm going to do now is switch to a new game. We'll be back in a minute.